You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's no Niall, he's still on holiday. How much time off do they give him? And it's me, Brian.
He deserves it.
And yes, he does. I'm just living in London alone. I think I need a holiday. In this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of October the 26th to November the 1st, 2024, starting with Puniru is a Kawaii Slime, Episode 4, Alice in Cutie Land.
So this is where we introduce the, what's that fucking character type? The,
Yes, it's like the Mademoiselle type, but she's a 13-year-old girl.
She's a 13-year-old girl. What makes her more interesting is obviously being a fucking child who is from privilege but lives in her imagination, despite being that. And also her maid. Her maid is a great character, despite like never. Did she open her eyes like even once in the whole fucking thing?
I think she does, but I might be thinking about next week's episode.
That might be it. Yeah, it's generally like eyes kind of downcast. It's like, I am in service of my lady. No, you're not. You're like some fucking crazy, violent, manipulating adult in this world of children and child's things.
Yes, that is the thing. She's the one adult we've met so far who hasn't.
Oh, and the teacher
hands.
Actually, the other.
Oh, and the
teacher
wants to experiment on the scientist T-shirt. Yes.
Like one of the things she does early on to him is throw a knife at him, like bisecting his fucking glasses, basically.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't make. By the way, don't make the mistake of watching the trailer they just put out for Mecha-Ude before you watch episode 6.
Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. I'll wait on that then.
Yes,
because I've only seen 5.
Yeah. Because I've only seen 5. I watched it before I watched 5, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess this is meant to be watched after episode 6.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the one with climax in the title, so I assume it's just like the second half of unless it's wrapping up in 8 episodes or something, which it might do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't complain. Not that it's bad, but yeah. Anyway, Puniru is a complete slime. No, she's a cute slime. She's a kawaii slime. Yes, so she's the heir to the fortune of Kyuthi-chan, and I forget her granddad's got a ridiculous name. It's like Icy. It's his name is a fun of liking cute things as well.
Yeah, it is, but I fucking forgot it already because it gets mentioned like maybe twice, but we don't see him yet. I presume with a name like that we're going to see him, but yeah.
Yes, and so Alice is a fan though of her own character, who she is going to replace Kyuchi-chan with once she inherits the company.
Yeah. It's kind of like, oh ho ho, you think your slime is cute? Check out this. This is the cutest character. And he's like, I don't know that character. It's like, that's because it's a character my lady invented back when she was a smaller child than she is now. And he's still like, no, you kind of sold me. I am going to take all this merch off you, though, because he is still into cute things. We do know that.
Yes. And so the first part is like a cuteness competition.
They have a cute off. Meet cutie at sunset or kind of thing. I was like, whoever gets the most fans will be the winner. So she changes into like a cuter
Alice
version?
in Wonder. She's like an Alice in Wonderland type design. She's got the
frilly dress and everything.
Yeah, with the playing card suit design.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas the other one has just like constructed a pool in their schoolyard and filled it with I assume
slime.
Borax and thing. Yeah, I filled it with slime. To which Puniru is kind of like, oh, fucking slime pool. Like every other child is like, I want to get in on that because every other child wants to play in the slime. And I'm just, as an adult, I'm just grossed the fuck out. I can't be having any of this shit. That's nasty.
There's the bit where you think Puniru is angry at this, but no, she just wants to play in the slime pool as well.
And there's the other bit where it's like, oh, is her shirt going to get see-through in the fucking slime pool? It's like, no, she's going to absorb the slime, become gigantic, and consume everyone, thereby technically winning the contest by having the most fans in her slime body.
She briefly gets into a wrestling match with Alice, though.
See, that's the bit I was thinking was going to get horny, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like where this is going.
We get the two Doraemon bully characters going, I guess we're doing slime wrestling now, and then that is immediately nipped in the bud by her absorbing all the slime and becoming huge.
And it'd be one thing if she just became huge, but like an eagle sees a worm on her head, punctures it, and then there's like a slime tsunami just washing all the children away, basically. I'm just like, that's better. That's better than horny. Okay.
And so yeah, she's angry at Puniru, so the maid takes it into her hands in the second half. She's going to make.
She says something like Lionel's like,
Alice's
I
wish
put so much
true.
love into my Pikachu freaking
Rude
Pokemon.
her name is, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like it's like the Mickey Mouse head, but the head part is a whole body, so you can get away with it, and it's white, so it's completely different. But yeah, it's like, why didn't I love this character Ahmed so much? Why didn't my one come to life? Like his slime came to life when he was a little kid. And the maid's like, I got money. Oh, I forgot. We have lots of money. We can do that. So just loads a robot with the industry standard fucking version of the mascot from the theme park.
Yes, because it's still doing Kyuthi-chan's moves. Is the slow reveal over?
Yeah.
The slow reveal over the second half is no. She has not brought her child invented mascot to life. It is just a different toy that she's taken the skin off because it doesn't even resemble.
Yeah,
Rude.
It looks like it looks like a mech. It doesn't resemble the original character at all. Like it has the circular ears, but those are like holographic hoops rather than yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're just the things which are supposed to go in the ears of the fur she was supposed to have on when she's supposed to be a Kyuthi-chan robot.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's got some unfinishedness. The maid did the best she could do overnight with lots and lots of money. So yeah.
What does Puniru turn into in this half?
Like a dancer?
That's it, yes.
Yeah,
hip-hop dancer.
Yeah, that's it, because it's got like I can't remember what the thing is where you have the baggy sleeves, but you have like a tight top on underneath kind of thing. But like, I was just like, is this going to get horny? And she immediately gets fucking slapped in the face and like deformed because she's made of slime with the butt of the robot. And then we see the robot's butt covered in slime. And I'm like, all right, show fucking, you're veering very close to the sun here. You got to fucking pull down a little. Dear.
Yeah, so the tragedy is that this Rude is not the Rude of her dreams, and also everyone just see that it's a toy and not alive like Puniru, except perhaps Puniru.
Like they're slowly figuring this out. Your man's like, I don't know, did their fucking toy come to life? That seems unlikely. Those are the moves of the mouse character mascot. And then the kid, who is literally a kid, even though they're all acting like they're supposed to be older, is like, wow, cool toy. Where'd you get the cool toy? And it's just like, God damn it, shut up. He's on the ball immediately with his childlike wonder. So yeah, I guess that's where we're starting, and I assume something's going to happen with that, and it's going to turn into an AI Terminator type situation. Who fucking knows?
I do, because I watched the next episode already.
Of course.
It does. If it goes there, don't think it goes there from what I've seen in the next episode.
Okay.
I think it's kind of played more comedy tragic. Next week, there's definitely something to the idea of this mascot character who is not sentient being a character in a show. Is weird, but also interesting. I don't know, maybe she'll eventually become sentient, but it's currently more interesting that she's not. And that's kind of the real tragedy for the Alice character, is that she wants this character to be real, and more annoyingly, there's another boy at school whose childhood mascot character is real.
His wishes were granted, and your infinite money cannot fucking bring you this wish.
Yeah, and then you've got the maniac maid, who reminds me of a similar character in Halle and Goo. There's a similar looking maid who's similarly overprotective, but much more violent than this one is.
I mean, yeah, this one is pretty violent, and it's a good character archetype, so I'm not against reusing it, basically.
Then we got Ranma 1/2, episode 4, The Hunter. in which we are introduced to Ryoga Hibiki, our erstwhile rival character to Ranma. A rivalry entirely built in this idiot's own head.
I like that Ranma can't figure out what he did to insult him. And it's like, is it that time when I got the last bread at lunch? Is that time when I got the other last bread at lunch? Is that other time when I got the other last bread? It's like, no, dude, you just made this guy's fucking school life kind of shitty, honestly, because it's not one event. It's many, many events.
But that's not it.
That's not even it. That's, yeah, it's so good.
What the real reason is Ryoga's mad because Ranma did not show up to the place where they agreed to have a fight. And Ranma was like, I did. I stayed there for 2 days. You never showed up. Because Ryoga's big comedy gimmick is the same as Zoro's is now in One Piece, is that he has zero sense of direction and will forget the directions immediately after being told them.
I did like him like trying to get to the duel at various stages. Like he's in the middle of the countryside after literally just being in Tokyo, going like, which way is Tokyo, old woman? And she's like, that way. And he's like, all right. He walks down the other side. I said it was that way, like the opposite. Why are you going that way? He's bad at
it. Yes. And then now I'm trying to remember stuff which happened in this episode and stuff which happened in the next episode, which we'll talk about next week.
So basically, like a lot of this kind of culminates in another duel where you realize, holy shit! Not only is this guy farcically strong, he's got all the tricks. He's wearing infinite bandanas, which you can turn into bandana rangs. They don't call him that, but they should have. His umbrella he's carrying everywhere with him is a iron umbrella that is. I feel like I've seen that in a kung fu movie, and I can't fucking place which one. Is driving me crazy. But you can spin it around like a friggin' top that'll cut you, and also is a giant iron pole, so does a lot of damage. And so yeah, it's a big kind of fight, and a lot of it. I did like the way they don't say that they can't see that Ranma has transformed partway through the fight, because he's got the umbrella at that stage, which is blocking the reporters from seeing that he has turned into she. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and it ends with the fighting and fighting and fighting. Then he's trying to get Chatty to get out of the way, and
she's trying to stop the fight. It's like, stop fighting, it's not fucking thing. And he says something shitty to her, and she's like, oh, fucking, that really hurt my feelings. And one of the bandana rangs chops off all her hair. Maybe all of it, most of it. And it ends on that, and I'm guessing that's supposed to be a joke at the end, that thing you were saying, but it kind of ends on that going like, ooh.
Yes, because there's like a page or so after that in the comic, which we will get next episode.
Okay, that's fine. It's just saving it till the next episode. That's not as bad.
Yeah, but it doesn't work as funnily because there's been a week gap, and they focused so heavily on the tragedy of getting the setup of the actual character design of Akane being set up here. Yeah, because this is where I think when I started reading this in the 90s, I'd seen the short hair design, and so I was thrown when she's got this long hair at the start for like a couple of volumes. Just the first volume, I think. I think it's by the end of the first volume she's lost the hair. But yeah, this plays it much more for tragedy than the comic ever feels, which is often the case, I feel, with these Meizai Koku particularly, is even worse than this in terms of playing things for pathos. But yeah, this is funny because Ryoga's just a ridiculous idiot of a character, but also it's fun because there's loads of great action, because he's also a proper super martial artist, our first one, who fights in a weird style.
There's like the thing where Ranma and herself are having like an argument on top of the bike shed, where they've ended up due to kung fu hijinks, and they're talking, they're trying to have a fucking heart to heart. Your man kind of like walks up and was like takes off one of his many bandanas and slices the bike shed apart so they fall over. It's just like, I'm not here for this fucking drama shit. I'm here to fight. And it took me all episode to fucking get here, so I'm trying to do it now. Yeah, it's how simple a character is. He works quite well as a contrast with these goobers.
And we'll get the other elements of him next week.
Yeah.
Then back to the script, so I know what we watched next. It
Orb.
was Orb. Orb on the Movements of the Earth, episode 5. Even if I die, this world will continue. In which our lads have fled with our heretic.
It's like the shortest getaway ever, because your man's kind of like our Inquisitor is kind of, that's not the right word. Heretic torturer. There's a word for that.
Yeah.
Is it Inquisitor? It might be.
I think it's Inquisitor. Yeah.
I thought I had the wrong fucking thing. Anyway, he's kind of having the conversation with the monk, and he's like, "Ah, fuck! The guard has fallen off the thing. It's veering off road, and it's just like, is it cool if I kill the horse? It's like, is that within the budget? It's like, yeah, that's fine. But by the time he catches up to them, it's like, oh shit, this guy's actually doesn't fear death. Basically, I might be in trouble. Generally, they fear death a little bit, but it's kind of offset by them just doing a runner essentially, because he's like, I beg forgiveness. He's like, fuck, I gotta take out my handbook and check what begging for forgiveness is. Like, do I still get to kill him? It's like, use your discretion. It's like, that's even worse. And by that time they've started running away. He throws his sword at them, which is deflected by the other guy's sword. And they keep running. He's like, and your man's like, hey, I brought the crossbow. He's like, nah, we only had the budget for 1 arrow. Fuck. Well, as long as we get to kill the heretic, he's still here, like with a bit of fucking.
He leapt on a sword.
Wagon shrapnel on him. Yeah, he was already fucked up from that.
Yes,
but then
yes, because he got the wagon shrapnel first, and then you thought he was down, and then he saved Ogji from leaping in front of.
Which he doesn't understand until
sword.
the end of the episode, until it's fucking explained to him. Everything needs to be explained to this guy. He does not understand.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's him and Bruce, isn't it? Yeah, they're trying to. They find the stuff. They find 2 letters. We learned that Ogji can't read.
It's like, I'm going to read the original letter, and it's just like, okay, what does your letter say? He's like, I know that's a name. Other than that, I can't read. And it's just like, here, give me that one as well. Oh,
it's like, it's in Latin.
And that your man didn't even write in. It's just like, what, his name or anything. Like, my name is not important. It's like, what you do, right, is take this information, use it as you will. Which I appreciate, actually. It's not like, ooh, it's from the legendary teenager who died like 8 years ago or anything. It's just like, nope, not important to history. It's his work that's important.
Yes, and his problem, the Greece's problem is I'm of a high enough class that I can read, but I'm not a high enough class that I can read Latin.
Yes.
And so
much like the thing of he was following the thing of Mars, but he didn't know enough information to know that would start seemingly reversing its orbit. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to find somebody who can, which will turn out to be a disgraced monk. He's been demoted, and Greece has to pass this information on to Ogji because he falls in the river and dies.
The whole thing is just like, hey, I know I've been taking you here under duress, but you want to come with me to the monk, because like we're in the middle of the woods in the countryside being hunted by inquisitors probably, so better chance of us 2 of us surviving. And it's like, even getting as far as the river, he's like, yeah, you can just fucking leave, and bridge collapses, that kind of thing. He's just like, I'm actually fine with this, because I figured out I don't like this whole ordeal has kind of gotten into him. Me dying isn't the death of me. Like, the things I do continue on. And that's what you're going to do. It's like, no, I'm not going to let you do that and let go of the book dramatically. I'm going to catch you by the foot with that necklace. And it's just like, no. I'm not in the opening. I got to go, man. That's just how it is.
I do like his bit where he says, right, there's 2 things you can do with that book. You can do this, or you can take it to that monk, which I know is the thing you're going to do.
Yeah, I know. You could bring it back to the Inquisitors. They'll probably be like, hey, thanks for getting us all this heretic material to burn. You're cool. Just say you did it under duress, but I know you're going to go to the monk, because he gets to know him a bit better. He doesn't realize, it's like, hey, can you find the North Star for me, because my eye got injured in the crash. And he's like, I can't look at the sky. I'm scared of being judged by heaven.
Yes,
but that's when your man's kind of like, I realize us being on Earth is actually fine. There not being afterlife is fine, because what we do continues, and I know you're going to continue it. And it's not like pressuring him into it. It's just like, I know how the fuck you're going to react to this situation.
Yeah, part of his fear of the sky is not just being looked down upon, it's that he feels guilty that he likes looking at that the sky is so beautiful.
It's the idea that you are not worthy to gaze upon perfection of the heavens because you're at the lowest part of the fucking universe. You don't fucking matter.
Yeah, he's been messed up by religion, big and
Oh
proper,
yeah,
like worse than anybody in this series so far.
yeah, because it's established that he has that instilled in him from a young age. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, and I guess it's class and education is the
that's
element
it as
here
well.
as
Yeah,
well.
your man had like notions, and that's brought him to a fairly good stage, even though he sacrifices himself. But he gets to the stage where he can sacrifice himself, realizing that there are better ideals than the situation that he's born into. Whereas this guy has not figured any of this out yet. He's going to need every fucking thing explained to him, which is fine. That'll make him a good POC kind of character. Yeah.
And so he rolls up at the end
POV.
of the episode and finds this surly monk.
Because all the other parishioners are just like, oh yeah, we fucking hate that other guy. Yeah, he's a real dick.
The guy who's been sent here because he's been demoted for
Yeah.
obviously reasons we will find out next week.
Heresy, I would assume. Yeah.
I would guess by the fact he's missing an eye and his face is covered in scars. Yeah, I was looking stuff up because there's a board game just about to come out called Galileo Galilei, which is the plot of which the game is you're trying to research the sky without drawing attention of inquisitors, but you can push your luck. It's got a push your luck element where you can get some of those inquisitors to have a look at you, but you're all your player boards are real people, and I think it's like only one of them was burnt or killed as a heretic. It's like it's like Galileo was tortured and inquisited against, but he still lived like into his 70s under house arrest. And Copernicus, they just were fine with him. It's just like it was both the extent at which your heresy was, and also the fact they were really worried about Protestant Reformation, and so it was like,
yeah.
is this a
It's
sign
where you're
that
at on the yeah. How much
It's
trouble
like,
is this going to cause us, basically?
is this looking at the stars and saying that everything goes around the sun? Is that Protestantism? Could be.
Better stamp it out. Wait, are they from fucking money? Old money? Leave them the fuck alone then. We'll get in trouble for that.
It seems like in general from my cursory reading is that most of the time they came to the conclusion that no, it wasn't. It's just as you only got in trouble if you went too far with your heresy. Because I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the guy who was the one guy who you could play as who did get killed was saying things. What if there's other worlds out there with other intelligent people on them?
Okay, he was like, now you're contradicting too much of the Bible. The important bits that would make people maybe be a Protestant or something. Yeah, that's
it's kind of.
I was going to say that's fair. It's not fair, but I understand the reasoning.
Which is why the author has said this is the C religion and the P country, because it's not strictly
I get
how things were.
I would have been fine with calling it Catholicism in Poland and that kind of shit, but like I get why you'd obfuscate that a little because you're talking about system of oppression, like class division. Like it's all right for this fucking wealthy cunt to research the heavens without getting fucking tortured, but you can get plenty tortured for that, my friend. Yeah.
Yes, and even your first main character, his problem is that the guy who raised him had also been a heretic. I suspect if he just discovered this without that connection, where there's also already an eye of suspicion on that household, he could have probably got away with it fine.
He probably could have went and studied theology and still been a fucking astronomer, and no one would have been the wiser. But it was the idea that truth corrupts in good ways as well. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah. And the interesting thing with this guy, the heretic who throws himself from the sword here, is that he's an astrologer who came across this. He's not an astronomer; he's an astrologer.
His information and his things are accurate, but that's a fucking different religion. That's a problem. Yeah.
So I think it's right because he's living in a fuzzy realm, which I'm sure that board game is as well, because it's a fucking board game. You're turning.
Well, you can win as the guy who specifically lost historically. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. but apparently it's a really good board game. So I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to see when it was coming out, and whether I could play a digital version early to see whether it would be my cup of tea.
See if you like the
But
mechanics. Sure.
yeah, it was the fact that it's like a Euro game with some pushy look. That was the thing which was tempting me, and also because it's got a theme connected to something we're currently enjoying on this show. Then we've got Godzilla. Talk of fortune telling and astrology. Godzilla reigns again, episode 30 of season 2, fortune telling, in which Biolante has set up fortune telling in her shop in order to trick you into buying stuff from her shop.
Because she's opened up like a secondhand swap meet type of shit that she found on the island thing.
This feels like the plot of multiple sitcoms I've seen. There's an episode of Corner Gas where one of the characters starts writing the horoscopes and basically specifically putting in one horoscope to trick one of the other characters into constantly helping her out.
You know their signs, so you know how to manipulate them that way. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, this time it's tarot reading, but it's always like did maybe want a Chibi Godzilla tarot deck, I have to say, seeing some of the few card designs we saw here. But yeah, essentially the joke is she's using it to sell things in her shop.
Well, it's very effective on Mothra, who is, for obvious reasons, kind of is into religion. Having a religion based around her, I guess, is the idea. And those kind of things. Mecha-Godzilla, a little more fucking cynical about the whole fucking thing. She's like, hey, wait a minute now.
That's pretty much it. Sengoku Yoku, episode 27, Awakening. What if, rather punishing yourself to save everybody as a human, you just ascend into godhood?
Yeah. I like the idea of that, because even partway through the episode, he gets like the half face that's kind of starting to look like your man who's like a 1,000-tailed fox, that kind of thing. And it's just like, oh fuck! Specifically, like we were talking to that old guy. It's like, yeah, you're gonna turn into something that's not human or not yokai. You're gonna turn into like a monster. And it's like a demon. It's like, you could be a god, though, is the thing he kind of figures out. Is like, yeah, it's just like, you could, instead of going all the way evil, you could go all the way good. That's an option.
Whether he's gone all the way is questionable, because when
Yes.
Tsukiko shows up at the end, I think that's going to be the thing to anchor him back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's the idea that you can become more than human in a good way rather than a bad way. That's an option available to you. Yeah.
Yes, which I guess he's had that laid down for him with the Shogun and Hamatora, the nicer of the local gods.
And we got the small version of that in terms of the village, where we have a bunch of monsters. It's like, I want to eat people. It's like, no, calm down. Have this rice ball. It's like, that's pretty good. It's like, yeah, you could just farm rice like the rest of us. It's like, oh yeah, I suppose I could do that. You can. Things aren't necessarily good or evil. It's a choice, and it's a journey you have to take on the small scale, or ascending to godhood, at least temporarily.
Yeah, the two macho idiots we get flashbacks to their macho idiot childhood, the macho idiot 20s, the macho idiot middle age.
This whole series has been a sequel to a show we didn't fucking watch about a tiger and a dragon being best friends / rivals their whole fucking life, which, again, fantastic. Those shots of like, remember this time when we were growing up? Is like, no, we haven't seen any of this shit. Good stuff.
So the head monk summons. Is that something from the first series? The thing he summons.
No, he's not even involved. That's a new thing. The monks fucking show up in a trench coat that is a mech monk made out of wood with a big stick to just fuck up all the yokai. And our boy's kind of like, no. I'm converting them. Like, I'm going to turn them all good. You don't have to do this. And monks are like, but we can rock this whole mech.
Yeah. But Tama's like, oh, while the Void people are distracted by going, what the hell's that that's just arrived on the battlefield? He's like, Udo, go and rescue everybody. So he flies in, and then we get his little speech about one day I'm going to be tougher than those two old bastards who are fighting over there.
I'm going to
But
eat
you
every
monkeys,
fucking son of a bitch, but I can't outdo your monkey's booze, man. The way that booze makes me feel good, makes me feel emotions. I might have to fucking confront that one day, but for the time being, I need to protect those goddamn monkeys. I love them so much. And even when our egg guy bursts through the stairs, and again the boy people were like, "What the fuck is that?" In Barry's mech suit, filled with treasure that from the fucking vault. He's like, "Where the fuck am I?" And it's like Muro's like, "Brilliant, fill this thing up with monkeys." He's like, "I have it filled up with treasure. Take out the treasure and fill it up with monkeys and get the fuck out of here."
Well, more importantly, we get the line, "Take the monkeys and run."
This little character art of Muto, who off screen has become addicted to monkey alcohol and now loves monkeys more than he likes saying he's going to eat people, even though I've never seen him eat anyone. That's a really good arc in terms of character growth that we've off screen again and all of this shit, and it works. It just goes like so fucking fast. This show, I love it.
Yeah, Tama's trying to return Shakugan to normal.
Yeah, she was initially trying to stop her with illusions from killing monkeys as hostages, but then that whole fucking monkey situation happened, and it's like, how am I gonna fucking stop Shakugan? It's just like I can do illusions, but it's just like beating you with rock arms. There's not really any illusion against that.
Yeah, Shakugan's about to smash her when we already know the rest of the gang are here because we've seen Tsukiko already at this point.
Yeah.
And then Shinsuke shows up and it's like, let's restore her together. And that's we'll head into next week. Yeah, it's just like a battlefield, but there's like everybody. Even like the Snow Woman gets stuff to do. We get her name as well.
She has been converted, so she wants to help our boy, like who like we say, temporarily becomes a canon, like all the lights, all the arms, that kind of thing. But then obviously his lady friend shows up and he's like, "Oh fuck, you got me with my pants down and all my 1,000 arms out." Whoops. So yeah, presumably he'll get a bit of a bollocking for that, or she'll kick his ass. That would be fun too.
Yes, I mean she's got her evil power out of the gourd.
It's fun because it's a battlefield, but everyone's fighting for different things at cross purposes or for the same purposes. And there's like, yes, our evil plan to get a yokai army. What the fuck is happening right now? It's just like every cunt showed up using different things that you've never fucking seen before. And it's just like, it feels so good, man.
Yeah, and I think they might be going to fight the Cloud next week based on the episode title.
Yeah. That cloud is hanging over the whole fucking battlefield, so you know it's going to get involved at some stage.
Yeah, my favorite thing was the robot emerging when the monkey's about to be killed, and so because he was like, "Oh, there we go." We had that set up at the end of last week's episode, and didn't see him at all until that point. And
I think again that robot showing up at the end and just reminding you, it's like, no. Remember Barry's mech? Like this isn't. They were definitely developing this kind of technology. This isn't unfucking heard of. So nothing feels out of left field, but it's all just going mad with it in a good way. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got Dan to Dan, episode 5. Like, where are your balls?
How would you not notice? It's been a busy weekend, I guess, is how he has not noticed.
Yes, and then they go back to school, and everything's awkward because they're not being attacked by aliens or ghosts.
They're not being attacked by aliens, and they're awkward teenagers. So, like when he's looking for, like they want to meet each other, but again, there's a lot of kids in the school, and they keep like just barely missing each other. That's so presented so well in the comic, and I think it's done quite well here with the cuts and the kind of cross cuts and everything. But yeah, they just can't seem to meet up. Is it before or after they have the argument where he's trying to talk about his feelings with in front of her friends, which is the worst possible place to do that?
Yeah, they get back together when she's annoyed when the new pink-haired girl starts bullying him.
Yeah. Like
so
flirting with him as a joke. So
yes. Irish Iritori. So that's when they get back together, and oh yes, I did need to go and see your grandmother because he's been trying to tell her that his balls are missing through most of
He
the
has taken a
episode.
piss in the bathroom and noticed his balls were missing. And that's what he goes to meet her friends, and he's making like a balls gesture because he can't say it in front of all of her friends, all these
Yes.
girls. And the girls are like, "Hey, that's that boy you like," and she's like, "No, shut up." So him trying to be like trying to make that connection with her, like actually opening up to her, stopping talking about balls for a minute. She's just in kind of the mood of going like, fuck off. I don't fucking care about you. And they're like, dude, that's fucking cold. Because initially the girls think, oh, you guys were totally kissing when they hadn't kissed. Again, that moment is so well done. They actually like they bump into each other, but you can hear like their teeth hit, and it's just like even the noise. I was like, ah, fuck, that's unpleasant. It sets my teeth on edge thinking about it. But it's like the awkward first fucking teenage fumblings kiss, that kind of thing. And the friends initially think, oh, you're arguing with each other because you fancy each other, but then that's her going too far, and then she needs to apologize, but she can't apologize in front of anyone else because of her pride. Awkward, cute teens. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she finds it the funniest thing in the world when they get
Hmm.
back home, and he tells the grandmother and her that his balls disappeared, and they discover
That whole
that
conversation is amazing because it's just like he's like, oh, my fucking like I didn't notice that they were missing under my rod, and the grandma's like, you got a pencil, what are you talking about, kid? Like it's just and he's like, I'm not showing you balls. She's like, I don't want to fucking see your lack of balls, even though she really wanted to see if his dick was back the last time. It's very silly. Yeah.
yes, they find there's a vestige of Turbo Granny hiding inside him. So Momo pulls it out, puts inside a cat ornament, and
Hmm.
it then runs off. And they have to chase after it, and basically is promises Okura that she'll get his balls back if he kills the pair of these women, and
Hmm.
then this causes Okura, in protection of the two ladies, to turn into his avatar Turbo Granny form. At which point Turbo Granny realizes, and then they explain to her, I have no powers. I've only got my
We ripped
mind.
your consciousness out and put it in this cat. Your powers are left in that kid. You're fucked. You are not one to be making demands. She's like, all right, kid, you got me. And he's okay. Where's my balls? Like, I don't know. I fucking left them someplace. I don't, I don't pay attention to all the bullshit I do. Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, you can stay with us because we know you're actually nicer than you make yourself out to be.
You were literally avenging, like,
And then
yeah,
once soon as we've got his balls back, we'll give you your powers back.
yeah,
The Miyumi Tanaka performance as Turbo Granny, now combined with the cat form,
yes,
is perfect. The
yeah.
face the cat's got when she thinks that she's got the upper hand, and then the face what the cat's got when she realizes she doesn't, is hilarious.
Because like as Turbo Granny, she was genuinely going for like, I'm a monster, I'm a ghost, I'm terrifying, that kind of thing. It was like
Yes.
creepy old lady to monstrous old lady kind of stuff. Whereas this is like, I am an ineffectual cartoon cat. In this situation, there's not really much more I can do. It's great.
Yeah. So we got four of our main characters together, and
Hmm.
we've a brief introduction to Ira, who we'll be seeing lots more of
Hmm.
over the next few episodes. They try and get his balls back. And then, as they will for many seasons, be constantly waylaid by other events.
When are they gonna get the balls back? It's just like, well, there's a lot of shit happening, and you don't need them right now, so you're grand. It's okay.
Next on the list is Negative Positive Angler, Episode 5, Extravagant Angler. I think this kid might have some sort of addictive personality.
It's both that and when you first get into a hobby, it's like, oh, I gotta have all
Yes.
the shit. It's like, no, 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 no.
Oh,
Baby steps.
yes. Also, because you're showing off in front of women who
That
are
is like there's several aspects.
encouraging you to spend money. One in
I mean,
particular.
they're also going. It's like, wow, that is the best reel on the fucking market. But you can start on a more basic one. It's like, no, I need to start on the best one
Yes.
ever. And even Saint Man is like, why don't you use the best reel ever? He's like, well, I feel like if I use that one, I wouldn't feel satisfied with other stuff. But also, I really like the one I have, and I keep it in good condition. So
Yeah. And also, you, the viewer, are going to learn more about fishing
yeah,
because That's kind of what we're going to do. Yeah, the irony is he has not thought this way, and he is not thinking this way in his decisions. Is the fact that if he's got 2 years to live, then yes, it's fine for him to buy this reel.
Yeah.
To spend all this money on fishing.
You don't have to pay this guy back. You're gonna die. I mean, like, that's your plan so far. The stupid plan. Because the doctor said, if fucking you do nothing, I'm stuck on that fucking point, man.
Yeah. But he's a crazy messed up because when he gets his first pay packet paid in cash in an envelope, his first initial thing is, I'm going to buy a games console and then go to the pachinko. and then he has a vision of Takaki emerging from the floor telling him not to do this. And he's like, okay, I won't do that. But then Kazoe and Hannah take him to the fishing store because Hannah has forgotten to order more parts to sell
at
their
shop.
Used
to go to the fishing store. Let's all go to the fishing store. And the other girl is being nice and she's being friendly, but in his fucking horny ass brain, he's going like, "Oh, time to impress the lady."
Yeah, I think I get the feeling she flirts with lots of people because she's flirting with Hannah at the end as well.
Yeah, I think she's just like a flirty type, that kind of thing. Yeah, not as a bad fucking thing, because several times she does ask him, "Is like, dude, are you sure that's a lot to be fucking spending on one thing? You only have to get it in bits and bobs. Like, you only need these kinds of reels, you only need these kinds of weights, that kind of. You don't need every fucking thing on the market. That's going a bit mad."
She's the one defending him buying the best reel at the end of the episode.
She thinks it's a good idea because it's a good reel. That's the other thing. She's trying to not encourage him, but she is helping encourage him at the same time. It's not our maliciousness, seemingly anyway.
No, I don't think any of these characters. I don't think there's a single malicious character in this. Even the loan sharks were not malicious characters.
Fuck! This is the episode where that fucking cartoon man says something. I forgot what the fuck he said.
He says something about the buying fishing equipment. He's got a very deep voice and serious voice as well.
Incredibly deep, serious voice. Good call.
So they go and do a different type of fishing that he hasn't done before, and he's trying to do the same sort of fishing. And they eventually explain to him, "Oh yes, because you met us when we were catching sea bass, and so while you could use that technique to catch this type of fish today, you're not going to do as well as these other techniques we're talking about."
Yeah. Yeah, essentially, you're just standing here practicing while everyone else has been catching fish. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Takaki lets him have a go with his reel, and he brings 8 fish in, the best of the day, alongside Hannah, because I guess that secretly he's actually one of the better fishermen here. But yes, he's already tired because he's been up all night watching videos about the really expensive reel he saw in the shop.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's like, no, dude, I'm not going to spend all my money on the really expensive reel. Like, fucking stays under the covers watching it on his phone. It's like, man. And even him, like, the ad, we see that whole ad pitch basically that he's watching on YouTube or whatever. And later on when he's using it, it's like, oh yes, 50 years of fishing fucking acumen went into the making. He's like just saying it word for word back. He's feeling it, but he's definitely like he's been sold.
Yeah, and the other element, the other thing which pushes him over is using Takaki's reel, which is better than the ones he's been using, and realizing, and also Takaki's story about how when he was younger and did really well on his first trip out fishing and was given all this praise, he thought he was a handsome genius, and so then when he wasn't able to catch again later, he was blaming his gear.
His equipment,
his equipment, and so Sasaki has been set up with the flip of that now, in that he thinks he's not a good fisherman, and he needs better gear to really enjoy fishing, and he's enjoying it even when he's not catching stuff at the end of the night. When he goes back out in the evening to try out his reel, he's not catching stuff. He's just enjoying
the casting and the drawing it in. Yeah, the mechanical nature of it. Like it's practice, and practice is fun.
And it's like a pachinko machine.
I assume that's what they were going for, but like, because your man's reel is like black and stuff. This one was silver, looking way more like that. Yeah.
And of course, theory, this is such a good reel, and of course he won't let Takaki. The punchline is he won't let Takaki have a go because he might damage it. This is a very good reel. He's just
It's like, dude, I fucking give you a go of mine. It's like, no, man, you don't know how much this fucking costs. It's like dick, fucking asshole. But that's we have to have a character who's a bit of a dick so he can have a bit of growth, and he's slowly doing that even though he doesn't fucking realize.
Yes, it's the fact that at this point he enjoys fishing, even if he won't necessarily admit it.
Like he's very early stages of the hobby. He's put a lot of money into it because he's enjoying it so fucking much. That's why he's spent the money. Like
fun show, very fun show.
Mm-hmm.
And the other funny bit is Kazue, when they talk about how Kazue did like to handle the live bait they use for this particular type of fishing, and they say, "Oh, she's gotten over it now," and then we see how she's got over it, which is just like constantly chanting that her mind is blank as she's.
My mind is blank as I'm fucking tearing apart the live bait. I can't think of the proper fishing term.
It's some sort of work. They give it. It's a particular type of bait because the other bait they aren't allowed to use at this particular spot.
It's the kind that can bite you, and I've forgotten what the fuck it's called, but years since I've been proper fishing, but
I would never have the patience for it. I
like hanging out by the sea. Like I'm like I don't even fucking care if anything bites the fucking thing. I'm just like, oh, this is nice.
Yep. Good episode. Like I said, not much happens in it each week because it's basically a fishing anime where they mostly go fishing.
Which is probably what you want, you'd think, yeah.
Mecha-Ude, episode 5. Are you hiding something? Yes, I think multiple people are hiding something in this.
Yes, definitely. All the time, forever.
I feel like everybody except our hero, his arm friend, our green-haired villain, ostensibly boy, and his artificial unintelligent. I don't think any of those guys are hiding anything. He thinks
they're very on. They say or at least think the things that they are thinking. Yeah.
And the irony is that Kagami thinks that Hikaru is hiding something. And I guess he's hiding the fact that it's attached to his hoodie and not his back.
Yeah, he doesn't know that yet. Yeah. That's fair.
I mean that is the only thing he's hiding. Is that.
And I think that's just more out of embarrassment than anything, but yeah.
And possibly because he's not even considering that a thing that he's hiding.
That's true. Yeah. Did I have to mention that? Yes, it's wildly unusual. We pointed that out early on to you.
But what seems to be Elgis is hiding something.
Yeah.
Because he's got loads. He's been researching Aki's mysterious disappeared or murdered sister who turns out to be alive, and we get a flashback of. So it used to be that each sister had one of the.
She had the
Sinister
angry
and
one.
Dexter. Yeah.
She had Dex is the angry one, and Sinis is the one her sister had, but now she has both arms because in the terrible accident that claimed her parents, you see Sinis has been reverted to a cube, which means her sister has been killed. And I was just kind of thinking, it's like, hey, this is like a lab for experimenting on children with these fucking arms. That's what this thing is, right? That's why they have so many fucking teenagers working for their fucking organization, because they experiment on children. I think everyone's the baddies, actually. Yeah, this is kind of like them saying without saying is like, yes, the organization that they're working for is evil. I feel like that's got to be it.
Yeah, and so instead she's got this arm called Amaryllis attached to the sister now, and because they were trying to experiment with the arbitrary energy thing,
they were bringing in another test subject into the room, and I was the flower petal Dr. Octopus tentacle attached to her, but we reacted to each other, and it set off like this chain reaction of like energy that set off a bunch of explosions in the lab, that kind of thing.
Yes, and now she can't generate her own energy, so that's why I'm taking her out and being a vampire. And the only way to save Azaki is to bring us Hikaru Hamatsuga. Like,
so yeah,
how are you believing this thing?
Because we've established that Aki is a fucking idiot, is the other thing. Or at least not smart. She's not book smart at the very least. So when her sister shows up, it's like, this it's like, whoa, don't fight me in the car park. Let me explain, says the arm. I'm killing the other arms to take the energy out of them to put into your sister because she can't survive on her own. So we need that guy's special fucking arbitrary energy, and that'll fucking fix the whole situation. And it was just like, that's not true. They're fucking lying. And even at the post credits thing, where the sister is like has anime wasting disease up until she hops out of bed at the end, and just like, well, do you think it's gonna fucking work on him? And yeah, they're up to shit. And even then, she seems to be not entirely into the whole let's murder a random child, a specific random child, rather than the other ones you've been trying to kill up to now.
And meanwhile, they're organizing a study group with Hikaru, Aki, Jun, and the blue-haired girl. And the person most excited about this study group is Alma, the sentient arm.
Because he's like, yeah, it's good to make friends and it's good to increase your grades. Like everything he says is such like kids like positive fucking Captain Planet type character. Is like, yes, this is the right thing to do. We must make sure to tidy your room before your friends come over. That like he's being very nice. Which you feel like that's probably all because he has no idea of like he's got amnesia, so he's got no attachment to any negative shit that he might have been involved in beforehand.
Meanwhile, people on both sides, Arms and Kagami, are going berserk with the sort of red attachments on their backs. The guy with the Dr. Octopus arm mentions to one of the other Kagamis that his little brother might be in trouble, and he does not care. Does not care what happens to his little brother.
Yeah, the dude with the fedora and the Dr. Octopus thing seems more concerned with the dude's brother than himself. Yeah.
And then the best bit is that Arms have freed the arm that was attached to is this Shu, SHU, who was attacking them a few episodes ago.
See, I was hoping that would turn into a fucking character, and it fucking did. Yes, and it's a great character.
He's an amazing character. It's the fact that Shu looks so tired because he's being kept awake by this Bushido obsessed arm.
Even Alma's like, you follow Bushido. That's very clever. And your man kind of going like, how do you fucking guys even know about Bushido? What the fuck? But our vampire looking boy now he's a very bat based arm that's just coming out of his arm as well, which is really annoying. Like trying to force him into a kowtow to fucking apologize. Yes. Your spare arm is trying to force you to bow because it's just like, we are so fucking sorry about that whole shit. We're gonna fucking do you a solid. And your man's like, do we fucking? Yes, we have to do him a solid. Come on, and we've seen he's a very like a kind of submissive character, so now he's fucking submitting to his own goddamn mechanical arm, which is just bossing him around.
He's just so tired, and the animation of him being dragged around by his own arm is very Evil Dead.
Yeah, it's great shit. That's really funny. Like he has like a sonar for picking up on the energy signatures and stuff. So he's actually going to be helpful for finding Aki, who is gone missing.
Yes, because it's him, Hikaru, and Jun are all currently searching, whereas the Kagamis are not trying to find Jun. I suspect that guy who's been told not to will attempt to, because I get the feeling that he's the one person who likes Jun. Although I think there was like a file which said somebody had freed him earlier. I'm not sure that's been visited again.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Since then. Yeah, it's an action-packed episode, and like, unfortunately, I watched the trailer, so I know where it's going.
Okay, I'll watch season. I'll watch episode 6, and then I'll watch the trailer after that, which is probably the correct order to do it. Yeah,
maybe unless they put that trailer out super early. I don't know.
The other things I really liked this one was the guy with a motorbike arm shows up again. And he's fighting one of the other guys. You're one of the White Ravens, and it's like, how come I can't beat you? It's like, because you're one guy with a dominated arm, and we're 2 guys. So like one of the things his motorbike arm did was like block a hit from your man, and then he just like kind of fucking turns around and kicks him with his own foot. It's like, yeah, you're fighting 2 intelligences. They can watch each other's back. Like it's 2 against 1. So maybe working with them like unshackled is actually much better. I like the logic of that. The other thing I really liked was the bit where Aki's gone missing, and it's like, oh shit, it's 8 o'clock. Aki's gonna burst through the window. Oh, she hasn't come in, and it's the unusualness of her not being there. And because we're only like episode 5 in, that's established by the opening, where in the opening she smashes through the window, goes like hello, and it's like hello back. Like she does this every fucking day, break his goddamn window to his bedroom. So the opening kind of establishes this regularity that the show actually hasn't done yet, because it's only like a couple of episodes in. But I like the way it uses that as timing and world building, that kind of way. Really well done.
Yeah, it's got better. That's the other thing. A lot of these shows we watch, by this episode, you're seeing schedule problems.
You're seeing the animation do a dip because it just had the high animation to reel you the fuck in. Whereas this one's like, it's staying consistent. Like there's a little less flashy, but it's still bouncy and moving and very choppy in a good way.
It's almost like by getting less flashy, it makes it better because they just calm down a little bit.
Yeah, and they can focus on the weird bat arm character rather than it's just like. And it's not that like the designs have stayed great. Like that's the other thing. Every time they introduce a new thing, it's fantastic. Yeah.
That motorcycle arm's name is Motor Joe.
Nice.
Looking on the website. Yeah. Elgis and Fist. Aki and Sinis and Dex. Karu and Elba. Ona and Kagemaru. That's the guy who's just been free, is Kagemaru. Tani and Kerex, RIP. And they've now added Fubuki and Amaryllis.
Your man's one is called Ouroboros. I'm not sure. Like you said, I don't think that one actually has a personality, but
no, because there's a man-made one. They said, So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does not seem to get its own little thing. Yeah, looking forward. It's a thrilling show. Trillion Game, episode 6. I Want You to the Moon, in which our lads get some cash and then they take a bath in it.
Well, initially they get disqualified from the competition. Like at the start of the fucking thing, where your man's like, "Oh, actually, that's a physical attack because he was waving a thing around." And the thing about it is, it doesn't dissuade our princess that he's obviously trying to fucking court. Like if it wasn't obvious before, it's very obvious in this one because he's very concerned on who she's going to sleep with part of their fucking deal rather than any of the other business dealings. But like even getting them kicked out makes them look good because it's just like, oh, you had to get us on a technicality because that's just how fucking good we are, lads. Sorry. And our guy who understands nothing about hacking and seems like a gangster, but actually might be a decent bloke, is kind of like, you guys, I'm going to invest in you. And they get a pretty good deal out of them, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, Haru's still playing mind games with them. It's like, no, because he takes them to, it's not quite a hostess bar.
It's not a hostess bar. It's technically it's a members only club. Technically, you do have to be a member to be even let in the club or bring people into the club. So his test is like, if you can pull one of these women, then deal to deal, I'll take. I think he initially wanted like 30%, but they
knock him down to 15.
And they also explain how investment works, which is good because I have a rough idea of that, and even this rough explanation just is like, okay, yeah, I got it.
Yes, which I think Haru was sure that's what they were going to do because he's always set him up beforehand by saying, "Oh no, I'm a virgin. You should get a load of this guy though."
And your man's like, "No fucking way! I would have thought you were the guy who slept with women."
He's a total degenerate, and then Gaku is going, "I hate this kind of talk."
Yeah.
And then like barely after the discussion, Haru
your man has at the time to go to the bathroom, comes out, and then his teenage secretary's waiting there. He's like, "Yeah, he's already pulled." He's like, "Fucking what?"
And then he deletes our heiress's number from his phone because he doesn't need her anymore for the time being.
You gotta play it hard to get, but like it's contrasted with her like lounging. It's just like, oh, I wish he was here. I'm playing piano. No, Jeeves, I don't want dinner right now. Contrasted with him, fucking a hostess, but like in like both are portrayed as romantic kind of way. It's a weird contrast, basically. Yeah.
Yes, and then they get 30 million yen and put it in the bath and pose in it. Is the cut from when we've had Harrow in it, and then it cuts to Gaku, and you can see his bare shoulders. Like before you see him in the bath, you know he's going to be in the bath.
Yeah. And what's worse is it's like this was obviously what he wanted to do, but now he's put a he's put a photo of him on the fucking website.
At the website at the end, yes, because then the last third of it is right. We're going to start a company.
What do we
need
do?
People.
No, it doesn't matter what we do. We need people to do it. That's just like
Yes,
what? That is the backwards way to fucking do this shit.
And once we hire people, we'll ask those people what our company should do. And then he goes through the calendar, explains what's the best month to hire people.
Yeah, you got the month that everyone's like applying for jobs out of college, and also like the rejection fucking period, where basically like you can catch some of the fish that got through the fucking net. Basically, I mean that's essentially what they are. So, yeah,
It's like April is new graduates. May is after Golden Week. People go back to work after a week off and decide they want to quit their job.
Yeah.
So June is when we, as a small company, should look for people.
Because we can't compete with the big hiring ones, because we don't have any reputation besides this fucking wild thing of like, you want to make money, work for us, with him sat uncomfortably in a bath full of money.
Yeah. And then the investor goes around to Gaku with, what's he mad at him before?
He's mad at him because he tried to poach his secretary.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because the secretary kind of says, yeah, they offered me a job. And they're sons of bitches.
It's like, don't worry, didn't come around here to bully you about that. I did come around here to bully you, though.
I can recommend some people to work for you. And your man's like, no, we got a few people to interview. And he's like, fucking people have applied to your fucking non-company? Yep, so we can do interviews now. And he lets them use the office for the round of interviews, which I assume is next episode.
Yes.
Oh, they have registered a company name. It is called Trillion Game. That's the name of the company. Whatever the fuck it is they do, we don't know yet.
Yeah, you can tell it's the writer of Dr. Stone.
Other
thing is it's the characters that go, right, we need this, and we'll get this by this, and then we'll worry about the bit after that later.
Yeah.
Also, putting trust in people is the Dr. Stone thing as well. It's like we're putting trust in people who we haven't even met yet.
The crazy wrong fucking order plans, the trust kind of thing, the being a fucking awful piece of shit human, and how that's a good thing, actually, how that makes you a good person.
But then you've got to have somebody who's not that piece of shit human right by your side
to trust. Yeah.
To trust. So you got Senku, and then you got Chrome. They balance each other out. It's so much fun. So much fun. It's just the idea of like, we don't know what our company's going to do, and it's not even going to be us who decides.
They get investment before they've decided what the company do. They're getting employees before they decided what the company was doing, but not after. Like, they do name the fucking company.
Yes, they realise that they've got to put the new name for the advert. So which indicates how greedy we are.
They need to know what we're about. Whatever that is, we don't know yet.
Noble Farmer, episode 19. Oyajidono, the sequel. More tales of her dad almost dying.
I did at several times say, Jesus Christ, because I know this isn't, it's probably hyperbole a little, but like, I know it is like, fucking hell, that is a thing people would do, and it is dumb as shit. His constant solution to horrific injury being, I better go take a bath. Rushing to the hospital because all his organs were crushed.
Yes. There's a I think it's last season, The Great North, there's an episode where the dad, rather than go to the doctors to figure out why he's getting pain in his side, he would climbs part of a mountain to drink from a suspicious pipe and the water that comes out of it to heal him.
Good shit.
Yes, it's the country people thinking they're immortal.
they're made of hardier stuff, but they're not immortal and invincible. Even the dad, like the reason why he's had those fucking scars up along him the whole time as a cowman was kind of like, it's like, oh yeah, they removed, what was it, like 3 feet of his intestine or something like that.
Yes.
Because the noodles I'd had for lunch were coming out of the holes in in that part of my intestine. But look, fucking idiots put my belly button on in the wrong place. Fuck's sake. Like, you nearly died several times over. What is wrong with you?
And then and the fun, the call of like of her getting the news when she's in Tokyo, and then thinking, oh, preparing for the worst outcome, but then also having to think about what's going to happen to the farm after Dad dies.
Having to do the math farm math for just like, how is this going to be divvied up? Because these are financial things that someone from a practical farm family will be thinking about. Yeah.
Yes. I was simulating, she says.
I was caught in my simulation.
Yeah, and the dad's visited by the ghost of one of his ancestors, who is not a cow; it's a real human being.
I think it'd be like, it's fine to make you a cow. It's fine to make your man dad a cow. If you make your ancestors a cow, that's a bit rude. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, the mum saw it when she was like staying overnight. Perhaps it was his guardian spirit. That's just kind of where it's left. Yeah, it's fun. Is fun the right word? It's everyday tales of rural folk, as the Archers say.
It's relatable, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, my dad was working class and he was a carpenter, and he once had on like the third story up, had the building fall from underneath him. He wasn't working on the building. He claims that was nothing to do with him. That was the guys who set up the bits underneath. He was doing the third story, not the bits below. That was what he claimed. And he fell onto his arm and face, um, onto the collapsing building, I suppose. And yeah, he well survived that. I don't understand. Like, I thought you can slip and fall in the bathtub and die, but like, apparently, like, if you're made from hardier old fashionedness, you can survive a lot of weird shit.
Talking of weird shit, the stories of girls who couldn't be magicians, episode 5. What was this? Oh, this is the episode.
I'll walk my butt off in this cross country race.
That's it. Yes. Talk now. This is talk of things you can relate to.
This fucking race is bullshit. I'm so mad about this entire fucking situation. It's like, oh, you can cross country race by any means necessary. Can they ride dronies? Yes, they can ride fucking drones all the way down.
Yeah,
fucking bollocks, load of
common
shit.
folk have got a jog.
And the fact that it's like the people who make it first and second, they get like a free night and a slap up meal in the hot springs that we're walking to. Whereas I guess the guys who come third, which is, there are only fucking 3 classes in the fucking race, have to walk back to the school. Bullshit. Entire situation sucks. Fucking this class division. It works out in the end, but like, very annoying.
Yes, because they end up crossing the lake as a shortcut, which they eventually motivate the twin who's with them, and he finds barrels which they turn into boats, and then they act like frogs.
If this was like a red herring to make us think that the twins haven't been switching places the entire fucking time, it's working because like he actually has a character in this episode.
Yes.
His fashionista character has been brought to the brink by being forced to wear a tracksuit for the entire episode. So terribly unfashionable. He's done his best, but you know.
But that dog causes some trouble.
Yeah, the dog is just like, well, let's see how this goes. And again, that cat is just sharpening his claws. I'm beginning to wonder, is that actually a human in cat form, or is it just a fucking cat he reports to? Because we've established that the teacher left the frog in charge. She claims she left those 2 students in charge, but I think she left the frog in charge. And that owl is also maybe, I assume they're all fucking people as animals, but I like to think these animals are actually manipulating human events. Yeah, it'd be fun. But even at the start of it, like, their teacher has fucked off. They're like, so we haven't prepared for the cross country race at all, and the teacher is she hasn't arrived yet, and the students are saying she's feeling ill. And clearly she's using this distraction to get into the archives and research forbidden magic, is I presume what she's up to. Because this is one of the big school events, so much so that the principal has shown up, as he says, for the second time this show. You haven't seen me since the opening ceremony. Hello, I'm the principal. I only show up for special events.
Yes, the bad news pit in the bad news marsh is the
yes,
thing they have
yeah,
to
yeah,
use
yeah.
that the dog's made worse. I like the Magic Research Club just showing up in a boat so they can provide commentary.
So they can explain, don't go into the whirlpool in the middle of the bad news swamp. That's the bad news whirlpool. It's really bad. Oh, fuck. I came in and said it too late, didn't I? You're already falling into the whirlpool. Ah, well.
But they're the first standard class students to ever finish the race.
Yeah.
After they're blown by a jet stream.
They managed to cast enough magic to get exploded out of the swamp to the finish line. Actually past the finish line. So the rich students pay for them to stay the night and have the slap up meal and everything. So it all works out in the end. But I'm this fucking school, man. It can go to fuck. I hate it.
I like the lily pad thing is your tambourine dancer. She's like, this is a job for a tambourine dancer. We can use these
We'll
lily
wear
pads.
lily pads on our feet to like water strider over the water.
Yes,
over the swamp because they
increase your surface area so you don't sink.
Yeah, they got across the lake by the fashion guy had located some barrels which they cut in two, and then only half the class needs to make it to the checkpoint. So half the class in barrel boats, and a lot of people get different things. The train guy goes like, "There's a train tunnel under this hill, so we can just go under the tunnel." And it's like, "But the tunnel's dark." But I've put day glow stripes on my tracksuit in an attempt for fashion on this fucking awful tracksuit. So a lot of their skills kind of come into play for various parts of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's jolly good fun. It's like I say, it's nostalgic. It's because it's an original material, if I remember correctly.
But it feels old fashioned in a nice way, not in a like it's backwards or anything.
Yeah. I've lost my script. What has gone with my script?
Dragon Ball Daima episode 4, Chatty.
Oh yes, the classic. Goku, don't get into a fight. Goku got into a fight.
I do appreciate in the most recent chapter of One Piece where it's like there's a cool thing to fight down there, and all the fighty boys are like, "Oh, I'm going down there." It's like, no, that is not the direction we're fucking going. It understands what it is at this stage, and all the characters are aware of what genre.
Specifically, Sanji was not going to let Zoro go down there because he's going to get lost.
Yeah. That would be the worst fucking part of it. But like, and this is the thing of, I guess like Supreme Kai kind of knows, Shin knows, like there's like don't fucking tell him not to fucking fight, or that those guys are really tough because he will get stuck in. But yeah.
So they gotta go and walk and recover the plane. They get to a cafe which sells trinkets.
They sell equivalent things to the Dragon Ball universe, except it's a weird bug you gotta eat. That's convenient.
Yes. And apparently nobody in this universe likes to do this, so she's very happy that Goku will buy this stuff.
I assume as bad and all as senzu beans are supposed to taste, these things taste way fucking worse. If you eat these two bugs, that's fusion. If you eat this bug, it's a senzu bean. What was the other bug? There was a couple he bought like a handful of fucking bugs anyway.
Yes, you got a whole bunch of them. The husband is one of these guys with selective deafness.
Yes. This couple are fantastic. Like I assume they're never going to fucking show up again, and they're just great bit fucking characters. Yeah.
Yes, because then once he's got a sale of a trip on the Sky Seed, he then goes and puts on like a wizard's cloak and
he's got a whole show about it.
Yeah.
He can hear for the performance, but not for like he has to get his wife to shout everything. That,
it was when it's when the money came, when he was haggling. All of a sudden he could start hearing again.
Yeah. Now it's part of the business.
Yeah, so essentially the Sky Seed is a seed which they launch into the sky and everybody has to hang on.
Ejected out of a flower like a fucking cannon. And it's like, wow, how do we steer this? Says Shin. It's like, we don't fucking steer this. We gotta hop off before it fucking crashes to the earth. Because they were initially haggling like, how far does it go? How fucking much demon money? And it's just like,
how much do we weigh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't fall
But,
in the pit. We've been told twice not to fall in that pit. I assume at some point we're going to fall in that pit.
yeah. Also, there's like weird fish living in there, so there's probably something in there.
And then they get to a town where the locals are being forced to pay 3 gold, or they have some of their lifespan sucked out of them.
You get 3 years for every 1 gold you can't pay, or something like that. And this is the new Demon King. It's like the old Demon King had this fucking deal. It's like, no, you guys weren't getting taxed enough. He wants more money for road fixing, I guess. Whatever. We don't need to explain shit to you. He's a king.
And a masked vigilante confronts them with smoke bombs that fail to go off.
I think it was a failed wasabi bomb, which they're all like, oh!
Yes.
It's like, oh, it didn't do anything.
At which point Goku's seen all he can see, and he can't see no more.
He let an old man get the fucking life sucked out of him, but this small, clearly a child, it's just like, no way. Yeah, like you say, very Popeye eats his spinach, comes in and kicks the living shit out of several guards, which is bad because he's trying to keep a low profile.
Yes. And then they catch up to the vigilante, and she takes off her mask, and would you believe it? It's the girl in the credits. So yeah, that's kind of where we leave it. Yeah, it's just more fun, sort of very fantasy quest, dragony quest, because they fight. A lot of this is, God, I can't remember his name. The new guy, the new character.
Oh, Glorio.
This episode, Glorio. It's a lot of Glorio this episode, slowly learning about Goku because Demon World does not know about Ki, and Goku is able to sense an orc about to attack them. And he's like, how did he know he was there? And Goku said, I just detected his Ki. Can't you do that?
Yeah, like Shin's kind of like, it's a kind of energy he's learned to like sense without it, because we know this is a specific thing with like the Dragon Ball guys. It's like, even the Saiyans and Frieza's army had to use scouters for it initially. It's like, no, it's a skill in itself.
Yeah, it's like an earth skill.
Yeah.
And then slowly learning that Goku loves to fight.
Monkey loves to
fight. And then and then there's the bit where the 3 Dragon Balls get brought up, and then Goku and Shin go, forget those Dragon Balls. We could use them to rescue.
Yeah, we could wish our fucking Dende. We could wish Dende back, and we could wish ourselves back to adult. Like we could get it all done with wishes.
Yeah, see a look on Gloria's face. He's like, that's what he wanted them to think.
He wants the Dragon Balls. He wants the wish, clearly. Because again, it's kind of the thing of him going like, oh, you can't get them anywhere. There's really tough guys guarding it. And Goku's like, really tough guys guarding it? Oh, tell me more. Yeah. And this violent currently child, would be the way to fucking get that.
Lays bad in a child's body.
I mean, like, he's always been childish, so it's really easy to keep thinking of him as a child anyway.
Have to remember he has never kissed his wife.
I like the low levelness of this. I see them flying around and doing all their shit in the opening, but the fact that it's just like them running through like a street market, like beating the shit out of guys with sticks, with your stick. I'm just like, the reduced stakes are really fucking nice. I am enjoying that a lot. It's probably why I really need to go back and watch the rest of Sandland, because it's like we've reduced the crazy physicality of it. Yeah,
I've watched a little bit of Sandland. I did like what I saw, so I need to do the same. But apparently, I also need to go and revisit Fire Force.
Same. The horniness was a little too much for me at the time.
It
is a really good looking show, so I probably should give it another shot.
Yeah, I should probably read the manga that I bought. I should probably read lots of the things I bought off Humble Bundles. But to be fair, for that Humble Bundle, I was buying it for Vinland Saga, and I inhaled that like I was breathing. That's it for this week. That's all we got. I'm trying to think if there's another brand new thing. any more surprises. Yes, there is a surprise next week. There's a high card episode.
Fucking yeah, that came out of fucking nowhere. So okay.
I was like, I know there's something which came out of nowhere. It's that. And they've given a date for the Mononoke movie on Netflix as well, which I think that's end of November.
Okay.
But I think stuff can't fit movies in. I need to watch the Gridman Universe movie as well.
Yeah, that's the other fucking. I say problem, a good problem to have.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's so much good anime and so much good TV. That's it for this week.
Hmm.
Ta-da for now.
Bye.